मतलब डीयू से निकले डेलॉइट में पहुंचे, डेलॉइट से निकले आई एम लखनऊ पहुंचे, आई एम लखनऊ से निकले मैकेंजी पहुंच गए। ये तो यार ब्रांड जस्ट ओके आई सी दैट।
And I ended up joining Deloitte. I thought कि ठीक है, if MBA is not happening अभी, let's take some experience that will help me at least give some idea on how the professional setup works.
And you did your CPA one attempt?
Yes, so at that point of time, there were no exams in India.
Yes.
So it was either US or
Dubai.
Unfortunately, my visa was rejected for US.
Don't trust me, it's fortunately. US जाके पेपर देते ज़्यादा एफर्ट लगती है। पहला एक हफ्ता तो जेट लैग में बर्बाद होता है आदमी। Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Industry Speaks and Eduwants. Today we have a very interesting case of a person who's obviously CPA qualified individual who's got himself a career first in consulting and then moved on to a career in wealth. Two things that I know a lot of people find very interesting and so do I frankly. So I can't wait to share the experience that Rishabh Goel, our guest, has in these areas with you all. And hopefully you will feel inspired by watching his or listening to his story and his journey. So firstly, thank you so much, Rishabh, for being here on this podcast.
Pleasure is all mine.
But with that being said, I'd love to start our podcast from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So थोड़ा पीछे से पीछे चलते हैं.
Right.
कहाँ से शुरू होती है आपकी कहानी? Where were you born and brought up?
So I come from Chandigarh. My family is based out of there.
Very nice.
Business family.
Very nice. So you're a Goel, but you're also Punjabi.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Nice. And then from Chandigarh, I know you came to Delhi for your graduation.
Right.
So how did that happen and where did you go for your graduation?
So again, it wasn't very planned, which I think was a mistake on my part. So 12th exams I scored good. But then I got to know that a lot of my friends are applying to universities outside of Tri-City or Chandigarh area. So that's how I got to know about it. And my brother pushed me because he's elder to me and he had already been to Delhi for his MBA. So he pushed me that you should go there. DU is a great place. And getting an admission in a good college. So that's how Ramjas happened. I ended up joining Ramjas.
Nice.
Commerce from there.
Nice. तो DU के पूरे मजे लिए होंगे फिर तो क्योंकि चंडीगढ़ से थे तो मतलब obviously you were staying with your friends and all.
Yeah, so a lot of my friends also came along. So we were staying first in PG and then flats. So proper DU life in a lot of good nights also, but a lot of musty also.
चलो यार DU से मैं भी मुझे पता नहीं है पर मस्ती करके दिन साथ. But that's very nice. And you did your BCom there?
BCom honors.
Awesome. तो DU में BCom करने के बाद you do feel like चलो अच्छा तो है, opportunities भी हैं, placements भी मिल जाती हैं, but you do also feel कि कुछ तो और करना चाहिए. तो पहले तो ये बताओ, once you completed your BCom, what happened next? What was the next milestone you achieved?
So while I was in my third year, I had already planned that I want to go for an MBA. So I started studying for CAT, wrote CAT, did not score so much that I could get the colleges of my choice.
Yeah, I am in the one से got नहीं है basically. But I am so
top 5 से नहीं आई, top 5 से नहीं आई. So that's where I wanted to be.
So everybody please know Rishabh is extremely modest. Usually what he's describing is the peak for normal people. But go ahead. So you were not satisfied basically.
Right.
Score तो अच्छा था but you were not satisfied.
Right. So that's how Deloitte happened. So because college placement था and Deloitte was one of the first companies on campus and I ended up joining Deloitte. I thought कि ठीक है, if MBA is not happening अभी, let's take some experience that will help me at least give some idea on how the professional setup works.
Yes.
Be better prepared for it.
Yes, and it's an awesome place to start off because Big Four, UI, KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, all four.
Right.
In fact, Big Six भी बोलूँ तो GT, RSM भी ले लेते हैं, BDO भी ले लेते हैं, Big Seven ले लेते हैं. All seven of them good places to start. You're a good guy and you get that corporate feeling. So, nice.
So that's how Deloitte happened. Deloitte gave a very good, starting ground. First professional setup, a lot of good seniors. I was lucky to find a very good team, and then also got introduced to CPA, which is why I'm here.
Oh, okay. So it was Deloitte that pushed you to CPA.
Yeah, so उसके पहले I didn't know about CPA.
Naturally.
Went into Deloitte and then
Same thing happened to me. I went to EY and then found out कि एक चीज होती है इनको अच्छी लगती है तो मैं कर लेते हैं.
So that was one of the qualifications. If you're not a CA, then you have to do your CPA to grow in the company.
Yes.
So that's how I started exploring whether this is something that I want to do or not.
Yeah.
And I don't know if things have changed now, but at that point of time, there were rules that if you don't clear CPA in first attempt, then the cost incidence comes on you.
Okay.
And I also wasn't sure whether audit is something that I want to do for a long period of time. So I took some time to decide, but within 6 months, with good guidance from my seniors, I ended up enrolling into the program.
Right. And you did your CPA in one attempt?
Yes, so at that point of time, there were no exams in India.
Yes.
So it was either US or
Dubai.
Unfortunately, my visa was rejected for US.
No, trust me, it's fortunately. US जाके पेपर देते ज़्यादा एफर्ट लगती है. एक तो पहला एक हफ्ता तो जेट लैग में बर्बाद होता है आदमी.
लोगों ने जब वीजा रिजेक्ट हुआ था तो ऐसे ही मुझे काम किया था कि हाँ कोई बात नहीं, अच्छा है, आपका टाइम वेस्ट नहीं होगा. Dubai is just a 3-hour flight and you can go and write your exams, which was true.
Yes.
Which was true. I stayed there for 17 days, wrote all my 4 exams together. Was lucky to also clear all
of
the
them.
first attempt.
By the way, again, guys, this is something you get inspired from Rishabh's story. That's great, but don't do this. Don't do this. 4 एग्जाम इकट्ठे नहीं देते. अब इंडिया में एग्जाम वैसे भी तो एक करके ही देने चाहिए.
Correct.
But okay, so you're one of those intelligent folks who did all the 4 papers together, cleared it in one shot. And then once your CPA was done, what? You stayed with Deloitte and shifted?
No, I stayed there for 2 years after clearing.
Okay.
Still, I was enjoying the work and I was still learning. One year is a very short time, I feel, to decide whether you want to be here in any place or
In any place.
So, and CPA मैंने clear किया था. I was also waiting for my license. And I also got new opportunities within Deloitte after clearing CPA. So there was a new CPA committee formed where I could explore the strategy or business side. I was a part of the CPA business strategy team where we could help spread awareness more about the CPA program so that more candidates can enroll. And also do other things to help company on company level things. So that was a new favor apart from what my daily work was in audit. I could get an exposure again to the entrepreneurial side to know about how such big firms think about one particular niche, which is a CPA business strategy.
Yes. So you're actually a CPA auditor who's turned consultant eventually down the line and then turned wealth manager. तो पहले consulting वाली switch की बात करते हैं.
Right.
उससे पहले of course एकदम ऐसे तो नहीं हो जाती. As a CPA, it's all right. As a CPA, you can be a consultant.
Yeah.
But just a CPA, it is very different.
Yeah.
So कुछ तो extra चाहिए. Preferably MBA. तो मुझे मालूम है कि MBA का कीड़ा था करना था आपको पहले.
Yeah.
So then what? Did you retry MBA? Did you
So
even be CAT?
Yeah, so in 3rd year of my Deloitte, while working there, I gave CAT again.
अच्छा तो every 3 years you're doing it. 3rd year of college, then 3rd year of Deloitte. Okay.
उसके 3 साल में कुछ ना कुछ करते रहना है. And
Nice.
so I did not take any leaves or etc. But because the work life was very packed. So I just wrote CAT again and got the exact same marks.
Oh, अच्छा.
3 साल पहले आए थे same आए. But this time because I had 3 years of work experience with Deloitte, I had an additional qualification of CPA. That helped me get calls from better colleges because a lot of B schools have certain criteria. So that's how I ended up in IIM Lucknow.
Oh, nice. So you went to IIM Lucknow then?
Right.
Oh, shucks. Okay, that's great. That's pretty good. फिर IIM Lucknow में कैसी जर्नी थी? Tell us about that.
So in B school, in any other top B school or any B school for that matter, it's one thing to get into a B school, but then there's a completely different life inside. It's very, very rigorous. As compared to our BCom life in DU, which was very strict. 5-7 दिन पहले पढ़ के भी exams clear हो जाते थे. Here it was very different because for a lot of people this was the last formal education that they would take. People would want.
So competition भी serious था.
Competition
बाकी लोग तो भी serious थे.
Yeah, there were a lot of more than 50% of our batch were engineers, a lot of IITians.
Oh wow.
A lot of people from different folks. They were doctors. They were people
Very
who've done very, very good in their respective fields. But there so a lot of competition, healthy competition. But yes, so then there's a lot of things. One is academics. Then B school has a lot of things going on: cultural activities, case competitions, other multiple internships or projects that you can pick up. But then it comes to you on what you want to prioritize for. Where do you want to be after your MBA, so that you can start aligning your profile in those 1.5-2 years to what you want to do after.
to wherever you want to get placed, right?
And at that point in time, I was interested in both investment banking and consulting. I wasn't sure because these are one of the most coveted jobs.
Yes, yes.
So मैंने
होता नहीं है यार, अपने को तो सुने होता है, हमने सुने हैं, बढ़िया लगता है भाई, हमारा मन करता है यही कर लो जैसे. But nice, good to see somebody's actually done it, and your insights are more than valuable now. Okay, so go ahead, continue.
So initially, like I prepared for both these roles because both all things are happening parallelly. So consulting preparation is something that I really started liking, very different from what I'd done before in Deloitte. More on strategy side, more on breaking a bigger problem into smaller chunks, helps you think on first principles, be quick on your feet, go to the nth level of detail, and also be very good with your communication. So those are the kind of things that I started liking more. But because of the CPA, I was getting more interest from finance companies, of course.
Naturally.
So CPA helped me land an internship in investment banking instead. Us time pe my profile wasn't maybe a good fit for a consulting type of role. So that was a heartbreak to know कि ये सब करने के बाद भी shortlist नहीं है from the biggest of firms. So that's how I started, ended up in investment banking, which was again a very, very good experience. Starting point experience because it gained a very good field to work in, both in terms of the knowledge and also the kind of financial.
So this was summer job kind of thing at IIM that you did, internship.
Yes, so that's a 2-month internship and you get paid very well during your internship. But of course, that stipend is not a metric to decide whether you want to join the company or not. It's purely the work and whether you are able to see yourself doing that work for a long period.
So you touched on investment banking and you saw कि क्या होता है इस industry में, and then what? Did you choose to stay in it or what did you change?
Then I stayed. I thought that maybe I still wasn't inclined towards consulting more. I was looking at my peers who were interning in consulting firms. So that's how I thought that investment banking नहीं मुझे नहीं करना है. I want to move out of finance a little, go on the strategy side, consulting side. So, but I knew that my profile wasn't a good fit during my internship phase, but I had to do something additional to make it a better fit during my final placements.
Right.
So that's how I started.
Consulting में life वैसे भी glamorous होती है काफी, तो everybody gets pulled for.
It offers a lot of perks, but of course it also asks a lot.
A lot from it.
So you have to be prepared for that. So in those 15-18 months, I did a lot of case competitions, corporate case competitions, businessman competitions. Did decently well in accounts, not the top, but जितना चाहिए होता है minimum for
academic shortcut basically.
So everything was balanced in that way. So that's how a good profile, the profile came out in a way that I got interest from a lot of consulting companies during my final placements.
अरे वाह. So IIM से you moved to which company?
McKinsey.
मतलब DU से निकले Deloitte में पहुंचे, Deloitte से निकले IIM लखनऊ पहुंचे, IIM लखनऊ से निकले McKinsey पहुंच गए. ये तो यार brand name. Just okay, I see that.
So I wasn't running after a big brand name, but of course these are.
But that's where the best opportunities are. That's where the best opportunities are. Correct. So you got to consulting then finally, the holy grail.
Right.
जिसमें सबसे ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट आता सब लोगों को. I'm sure the audience watching is right now wondering अब क्या? तो इसके बाद क्या होगा फिर? Went to McKinsey, फिर कैसी लाइफ हुई?
So consulting life you get the USP to hire candidates from MBAs for you for candidates is that you get exposure to multiple industries, multiple functional expertise. You can work with multiple people, so there's no urgency for you to align yourself to a particular space. So that's a pro, but can also turn into a con if you take too much time to decide or you're not able to find
what your functional area will be.
So I did multiple projects cutting across different industries like consumer durables, manufacturing, finance, and across retail.
You were telling about retail also.
Yeah, so this was and across functional expertise, different areas like marketing, acceleration or
profit,
EBITDA improvement or process improvement or financial due diligence. So like multiple things being combined in those 2 years, which helps you ramp up very quickly because you have to become an expert so that you can give ज्ञान to the industry.
Exactly, जिसने कंपनी चलाई है उसको समझाना पड़ता है बैठ के सर आप
गलत करो या फिर you can maybe we think that you can do this better.
Yes.
So to add that kind of value, you need to also be knowledgeable yourself.
Correct.
Of course, there are a lot of resources available within the firm, a lot of experts, senior guidance that you can study, but then you have to do your homework.
पढ़ना खुद पढ़ना.
Correct.
Effort देना है. Right. So consulting में basically जान लगानी पड़ती है फिर to do that flashy meeting with the CEO of the company, which is what they show in the movies ना. Management consultant आए CEO के साथ बैठे, उसने उसको ज्ञान दिया और तालियां बजा दी सबने बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स ने.
तो बहुत मजा आया जाता है.
ये तो 10 मिनट की चीज है जो आखिरी की दिखाई. इससे पहले जो 24 घंटे 28 घंटे 48 घंटे उसने बिना छोड़े पढ़ाई करी है समझने के लिए, to understand the context of the company, वो नहीं दिखाते ये लोग, but that is the reality of honest.
A lot of effort goes into like it asks so वो perks जो है to travel, you know, to get access to a lot of facilities or to
stay in the best hotels, eat the best food, live that big life.
That is to make your life comfortable so that you can focus
on the goal. Correct. Right. That is just to make you comfortable. काम जो है तो मेहनत.
And that is needed also, and that is a good thing that companies offer because you're spending a lot of time doing the core work. So if other things, if you don't need to like worry about booking a cab or that's being taken care of, then it makes your life a little simpler.
Correct. It allows you to go that extra mile. वो बात है. ठीक. So then consulting में सब बढ़िया चल रहा था तो मैं दिक्कत क्या हुई? Why then shift into something else? Now you go into wealth. So are you trying to tease everybody? Is that your plan? सबको दिखाना चाहते हो कि तुम जो नहीं कर सकते मैं सारी jobs करूँगा.
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. So you take time to know where you want to be eventually. Yeah. So in consulting, although everything like the work experience etc. was great, one was that my health started taking a toll because of all the travel and the long hours that we had to put in. Second was I felt that I was getting the breadth because I was working in different industries, etc. But till I could align myself to a particular space, I wouldn't get the depth that I want. And I felt that as a person, I feel more confident if I know the content very well.
Yes.
So I wanted to move to an industry role where I could see.
You could relate to everything.
Relate to everything, have ownership. One key was ownership for a long period of time. Of course, McKinsey and all consulting firms give you a lot of ownership from day one. But I wanted long-term ownership that, okay, I know that this is the space that I'm operating in. Even if things are dynamic and things keep changing, I know that this is my North Pole. This is where I want to be.
This is where I'm headed.
And this is how I can add more value to whatever area I'm in. So that's how I started looking for...
अंदर का CPA बाहर आ गया.
अंदर का CPA बाहर आ गया बोल सकते हैं.
Because you calling you yearning for coming back to numbers was necessary.
Right, because जो भी अभी आज में कर रहा हूँ, so long, but definitely even like in consulting or even in the investment banking job, CPA was helpful in the sense that you could learn to read balance sheets, you could understand taxation, which were helpful in all the roles that I've done in some way or the other.
And we were talking backstage, so we were also talking about SAP, how all of the SAP framework in most cases is actually based on US processes, US GAAP. US generally accepted accounting principles. So if you know these things, it does make a difference. It makes you relate to the client better, especially with an MNC client.
It does. Again, it comes back to content. Whatever you're doing, if you're not confident with the content, you lose the edge.
Right.
And then you'll also not enjoy the process.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so coming back to the point, then you moved from consulting to wealth, and right now you're at a VP level.
Right.
So you're at a very senior level now.
Right.
How are you liking wealth?
I am enjoying wealth a lot. So wealth as an industry has a lot of things going on. When I decided to move into wealth, I was excited by the growth prospects that the industry has.
Yes.
And I also wanted to be in a position where I can add value to clients in terms of, because I knew every senior that I had, a lot of seniors that I engaged with in McKinsey, in Deloitte, people were doing very random things with their money. They used to ask junior associates like us, 20-year-olds, that कहाँ पे मुझे पैसे लगाने चाहिए? How can I save more tax? So if people are so clueless, although now financial literacy has increased a lot,
yes,
but with a lot of influencers also in the market, there's a lot of
nonsense also.
A lot of noise that we need to cut out.
Yes.
So the objective of what I'm now doing is that we're helping mid to senior profile working professionals or new age entrepreneurs to help create enough wealth in the first place. So this is, we call the industry wealth management, but what we're doing is, अभी पहले wealth बन तो जाए, so we are first, so first giving people clarity that where they are right now, where do they want to be, what are their goals, what are their relationship with money be, understand the softer aspect of it. So my role now is less of analytical. So people question us कि आप कितना return generate करते हो, आप कहाँ हमारे पैसे invest करोगे. All that is an output or the byproduct of whatever goes in the background.
Right.
So our key role is to understand people's behavior with money, how they would react to markets going up and down. Unke according, how can we fit, first giving them clarity, and then how can we make an investment plan that is suited to their goals. Is what my role is now. Joined as a VP. I'm managing my own team, building my own business. So goes back to my entrepreneurial theme why I wanted to do an MBA. So this is as
wow.
So this is kind of an entrepreneurial
role in itself, right? Achha, so you got your own team. So obviously you're VP, you'll have a team, agreed. But in the sense that you're actually running that unit like a business.
Yes.
Like you're actually managing your own P&L.
Yes.
All of that.
So this is very different. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. The entire P&L is being managed by me. I take care of the inflows or the expenses. So
it is like running a business. You are running a business.
It is, and it is very different from how other firms in the industry also operate. This is a partnership model which I've not seen in the industry anywhere else. We don't have any sales team. We don't have any sales target. The entire business is built through reference. So one, to increase your top line, you have to build good connects, genuinely add value in people's life, so that they are in a position to give you quality referrals.
Yes.
And then manage your P&L in a way that you can also take care of the costs, etc. to make to do justice to the time that you are spending.
You are also spending. Correct. To keep the business.
Yes.
Same, right. Okay. So is less stressful or more stressful than consulting?
Consulting in terms of hours, I would say it's less. Okay. But then here there are a lot of things to learn and do. So it depends. So I'm now in that mode that this is my business. So now the lines of weekend, of ending your day after 12 hours, etc.
Everything is learned.
Sometimes I would work for 8 hours, sometimes I would even work for 15 hours.
Yeah.
But time over, this is my baby to run, this is my business to build. So I would give in all my effort towards it. Yeah. So now I wouldn't say that it is less stressful or more stressful, but I'm enjoying this journey of running my own business.
Nice. So you've done quite a bit after your CPA. You got to see a lot of things. It has been a journey. Here, one last question before I let you go. For all of those folks who are looking at this podcast and thinking, यार आपको भी एक दिन consulting करनी है, wealth में जाना है, या अपना करियर ही स्टार्ट करना है, हर बंदा ये भी नहीं डिसाइड होता कहाँ पहुँचना है, अभी तक ये डिसाइड नहीं हुआ, पर इतना तो है कि स्टार्ट करना है. So they may be looking at CPA as a stepping stone or an entryway to that whole world. So what advice would you give these folks, our viewers basically?
So one would be that have some clarity of what you want to do. I know that a lot of people would not have things sorted out. Ki kya karna hai. For a lot of things in my life also happened along the way.
Yeah.
But then you need to find some people or some mentors in your life who can give you, who've been through that journey, who can give you some quality guidance. Now LinkedIn is a place where you can reach out to anyone. You write to 100 people, let's say 10 respond, and even if you are able to speak to one good person who's able to add value in your journey and is able to help you make a decision, whether that is CPA or any qualification, I think that's what one should do if someone is confused. Yes. And CPA is, of course, it's a very, very good qualification from the sense that when I did CPA, I also had this thing in mind that it also will open up doors outside of India for me. You can move abroad, you can practice as a CPA outside the US, Canada, Australia, wherever. Within India, there are multiple job opportunities. Like you have a lot of banks apart from the accounting or auditing firm.
And all those people who want to move out, no? I know US and Canada is not that easy anymore. Yeah. US was never easy, Canada is not that easy anymore. But UAE is still pretty okay. Correct. So a lot of people do it and then migrate to UAE, get international experience there, and then they move to a Canada or to an Australia or to a possibly US. All those things are there.
Right, so it becomes a great stepping stone. Very, very good qualification. Let's say if you are anyway confused कि आपको क्या करना है, and if you have the opportunity, this is a good qualification for you to start your journey in anything related to finance, which can help you along the journey of whatever you do later.
Correct. So as long as you're wanting to stay in the F&A domain, the F&A world, this is a qualification that will give you that edge or give you an additional bit of information that you need as a stepping stone for the next level.
Just confidence that you know a lot of
this confidence. Right. Amazing. Thank you so much, Rishabh, for being here. What a pleasure it was meeting you. And I hope we get to do this more often. We should meet up more often and do podcasts more often. Maybe we'll do one on just your portfolio, what you do, and then one on just wealth, and get some information from you there. But lovely meeting you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you everybody for watching this episode. And I hope Rishabh's story and the information he's given you in this podcast has inspired you to take your next step. With that being said, please do like, share, comment, subscribe to our channel. Let YouTube know this is good content, वरना सब दब जाता है. YouTube को नहीं पता चलेगा कि बढ़िया है कि नहीं. So if you feel it's good, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a comment. With that being said, it's possible also to hype videos now. If I'm getting this right, you can hype videos now on your mobile device. Comment section में जाके you need to swipe, and then there's an option or button called hype. You can click on it, and that will give the video a boost.
This is new for me also.
Yes, it is new for everybody in fact. So मुझे भी कुछ टाइम पहले पता चला, but yeah, that's the idea. If you can give us a hype as well, that will be great. With that being said, thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a good day.